कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. Hare Krishna. Hope you are all observing Ekadashi with full enthusiasm and with determination and commitment. Today is very important Ekadashi. It is the shiny Ekadashi. The Ekadashi when the Supreme Lord goes for Yoga Nidra. And it is the coming to the near of the Chaturmasya. In our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, in Parampara, we celebrate from Purnima, but in some other sections, they start to observe Chaturmasya from Ekadashi, from today. How many of you have completed your 25 rounds? Manoram Prabhu, you have completed 25 today?
Yes, Prabhu.
Very good. How many of you have chanted? Devdat, you have not done 25?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी 18 राउंड हुआ है प्रभु जी.
Kitna?
18.
Why? Do you chant 25 on Ekadashi or you are still struggling 16, 18,
Yes, प्रभु
17?
जी. नहीं
हाँ?
प्रभु जी 25 करती हूँ प्रभु जी.
करते हैं. Pranav, you have not chanted so far?
21 हुआ है प्रभु जी.
No, you should chant. Don't eat. Simple. If you don't chant, don't take prasad. If you don't apply some strictness on your sadhana, you will never be able to do sadhana. You will always only struggle. You have to be very strict. Wake up early. How many of you woke up before 4? When you know that you have to chant more, and if you are not so determined, then give yourself more time so that you can chant some good quality rounds in the morning. I can only suggest whether to accept or not is all up to you. So we'll continue Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Today I did not ask for Ekadashi Kirtan because days are less, and at least we will make a sincere attempt to at least try and cover the first canto in this year 2024. So continuing from where we were yesterday, the glorious Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it attracts everyone. The last verse yesterday we discussed the 10th verse, where the sages, they were asking Sutta Goswāmī that since birth, Śukadeva Gosvāmī was liberated. He was well on the path of self-realization. He was already a self-realized soul since birth. So where was the need for him to study Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam under the guidance of Śrīla Vyāsadeva? And Sutta Goswami is saying that Atmaramascha Muniya, even one if is Atmaram, that means one who is already situated on the platform of Atma, or who takes pleasure in the self, Atma. Or whether one is a Muniyo. Muniyo means who is a deep thinker, a thoughtful person. Or he may be an ignorant, Nigrantaha. But everyone is attracted towards the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, who possesses all transcendental qualities. And this verse, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Śrīla Sanatana Goswami, and also Mahaprabhu explained to Sri Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya. And here the numbers are given. if you will add, you'll be amazed. And how many different ways Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this verse to Śrīla Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Śrīla Sanatana Goswami. We'll go forward. Further, Śrīla Sukadeva Gosvāmī continues. This is the 11th verse. Hare guṇākṣipta-matir bhagavān bādarāyaṇiḥ adhyagān mahad ākhyānaṁ nityam viṣṇu-jana-priyaḥ. So harer guṇākṣipta-matir. Hare is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and guna means, it does not mean the modes, but here means the transcendental qualities or the attributes. And Śukadeva Goswami was absorbed in the Nam, Gun, Roop and Leela of the Supreme Lord. Akṣipta means absorbed, and Mati means the mind or the consciousness. And he is being addressed here as bhagavān. We have so many times discussed that many powerful personalities are addressed as bhagavān. And he is bādarāyaṇiḥ. He is the son of Vasudeva. And adhyagāt mahad ākhyānaṁ. Adhyagāt means he underwent studies of what? This Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam mahad. Narrations nityam viṣṇu-jana-priyaḥ. And he regularly studied Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. So it begins with Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī, and because of this quality of nityam Bhagavat Sevaya and his absorption in the name, fame, pastimes of the Supreme Lord, he became viṣṇu-jana-priyaḥ. He became very dear to viṣṇu-jana. viṣṇu-jana means the devotees of the Lord. Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī, son of Śrīla Vyāsadeva, was not only transcendental powerful, that is why he is addressed here as Bhagavan. He was also very dear to the devotees of the Lord. Why? Because he underwent the study of this great narration, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. There is one verse in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam which glorifies Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It says, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purāṇa amalam yat vaishnava-naṁ priyam. Find it. It is in the 12th canto. Manoram Prabhu, you have the laptop? Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purāṇa amalam yat vaishnava-naṁ priyam. If you study Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, you become priya to the Supreme Lord, and you also become priya to his jana, viṣṇu-jana. They are the devotees. Should I tell you the number?
It is 12, 13, 18, 12.
12?
12, 13, 18.
Okay. Yeah. Same word. Coming. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purāṇa amalam yad vaishnava-naṁ priyam. Yasmin param hamsyam ekam amalam jnanam param gīyate. Tatra gyan vairāga bhakti sahitam naishkarmyam avishkritam tat shravanam supathan vicharana paro bhakti vimucchena naraha. Come down to the translation. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the spotless Purāṇa. It is most dear to the Vaishnavas because it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramhansas. What are we discussing now? This is the second question that was asked, the question regarding the history of Bhagavatam and about Parikshit Maharaj and Śukadeva Goswami. So it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramhamsas. Both of them are Paramhamsas. The Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from all material world, together with the process of transcendental knowledge, renunciation and devotion. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, who properly hears and chants it with devotion, becomes completely liberated. Okay, we'll come back. Very beautiful verse, the glory. So we see it being personified in the character of Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī. According to Brahma-vaivarta Purāṇa, Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī was liberated soul even within the womb of his mother. Śrīla Vyāsadeva knew that the child after his birth would not stay at home. Therefore, Vyāsadeva impressed upon him the synopsis of the Bhagavatam so that the child could be made attached to the transcendental activities of the Lord. After his birth, the child was still more educated in the subject of Bhagavatam by recitation of actual poems. The idea is that generally the liberated souls are attached to the feature of impersonal Brahman, with the monistic view of becoming one with the Supreme Whole. But by the association of pure devotees like Vyasadeva, even the liberated soul becomes attracted to the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Another example is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He was an impersonalist, but by the association, he got the direct association of Lord Chaitanya, Nityaṁ Prabhu, and Mahaprabhu's other associates. By the mercy of Sri Narad, Sri Vyasadeva was able to narrate the great epic of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And by the mercy of Vyasadeva, Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī was able to grasp the import. Very important. One may hear, but to what extent one is able to understand and appreciate. It requires mercy. Of course, it requires one's eagerness also. How much one is keen and eager to receive. The transcendental qualities of the Lord are so attractive that Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī became detached from being completely absorbed in impersonal Brahman and positively took up the personal activity of the Lord. Practically, he was thrown from the impersonal conception of the Absolute, thinking within himself that he had simply wasted so much time in devoting himself to the impersonal feature of the Supreme. Or in other words, he realized more transcendental bliss with the personal feature than the impersonal. And from that time, not only did he himself become very dear to the viṣṇu-janas, or the devotees of the Lord, but also the viṣṇu-janas became very dear to him. The devotees of the Lord who do not wish to kill the individuality of the living entities and who desire to become personal servitors of the Lord do not very much like the impersonalist. And similarly, the impersonalist who desire to become one with the Supreme are unable to evaluate the devotees of the Lord. Thus, from time immemorial, the two transcendental pilgrims have sometimes been competitors. In other words, each of them likes to keep separate from the other because of the ultimate personal and impersonal realization. Therefore, it appears that Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī also had no liking for the devotees. But after he himself became saturated devotee, he desired always the transcendental association of the viṣṇu-janas, and the viṣṇu-janas also liked his association once he became a personal Bhagavata. Thus, both the son and the father were completely cognizant of transcendental knowledge in Brahman, and afterwards both of them became absorbed in the personal feature of the Supreme Lord. The question is how Śukadeva Gosvāmī was attracted by the narration of the Bhagavatam is thus completely answered by this shloka. So how to become dear to Krishna and his devotee? Study Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Simple. Very simple. One thing. The more we become attracted and absorbed in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the more we come on the transcendental plane. Now the track will change. Now the discussion will come on Maharaj Parikshit. Parikshito atha rajarishir jan karma vilapanam samastam cha panduputrana vakshay Krishna kathodaya. Sut Goswami thus addressed the rishis headed by Sanaka. Now I shall begin the transcendental narrations of Lord Sri Krishna and the topics of the birth, activity, and deliverance of King Parikshit, the sage amongst kings, as well as the topics of the renunciation of the worldly order by sons of Pandu. So the point is how, when the discussion was happening on Śukadeva Gosvāmī and Vyāsadeva, how this new turn has come, why Sutta Goswami has started to talk about Maharaj Parikshit. He is saying that now will begin the transcendental narrations on Krishna and the topics and the birth, activities, and deliverance of King Parikshit. Anyone knows the answer? Why the sudden change has happened? Discussing first Narad and Vyasadeva, and then Vyasadeva and Śukadeva Goswami. Now, all of a sudden, Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī says that I will now give the descriptions of the birth and activities of Maharaj Parikshit. Why? All of a sudden, from where is Parikshit Maharaj coming into scene? Yes, Sonika?
See, it is the part of third question. It is the answer of third question because third question was related to the hearer. So
That is part of
Parikshit
the question.
Maharaj.
Yeah. The second question. Second question was regarding the first question was regarding the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, that how Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam invented, what was the inspiration, how it came into conception. Second was about the hearer, that is Parikshit Maharaj, and third is the speaker, which is Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī. So now, after having spoken, very systematically he has given how Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was received. It was received through Narad Muni to Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva how he meditated, and he compiled Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and then further on, he gave the same Bhagavatam to his son Śukadeva Goswāmī. And from Śukadeva Goswāmī, it will percolate to Parikshit Maharaj, Sutta Goswami, and others. Purport. Lord Krishna is so kind to the fallen soul that he personally incarnates himself among the different kinds of living entities and takes part with them in daily activities. Any historical fact, old or new, which has connection with the activities of the Lord, is to be understood as the transcendental narration of the Lord. Without Krishna, all the supplementary literatures like the Purāṇas and Mahabharatas are simply stories or historical fact. But with Krishna, they become transcendental. And when we hear of them, we at once become transcendently related with the Lord. This we have discussed so many times, that the Supreme Lord is transcendental, and anyone who comes in contact with the transcendental personality, he also becomes transcendental. Can anyone give some example? Some very basic or gross example? I hope I am asking some very basic question. Why there are so many, blank faces? Yes, Mother Subro?
Dhruv Maharaj.
I'm asking a basic, simple, like a wire, like a copper wire. When electric current is flown from the copper wire, what it becomes? It becomes electrified. Simple. So similarly, the Supreme Lord is transcendental. And anything and anyone who comes in connection with him, why only Dhruv Maharaj? Whoever comes in connection with him, whoever has yoga with him, whoever is in yoga, yoga yukta bhava arjuna. So many times Krishna gave these instructions in Bhagavad Gita. Tasmāt sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhava Arjuna. Krishna is saying, tasmat sarveshu kalesh. Always, at all times, yoga yukto bhava Arjuna. Always remain connected. That means remain on the transcendental platform. So Prabhupada is saying that, but with Krishna they become transcendental. So the transcendental part of the Vedic literature is the description and in connection with Krishna. And Prabhupada says, when we hear them, we at once become transcendentally related to the Lord. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is also a Purāṇa. But the special significance of this Purāṇa is that the activities of the Lord are central and not just supplementary historical facts. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is thus recommended by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the spotless Purāṇa. What is the verse? Very famous verse. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is recommended by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the spotless Purāṇa. What is the verse? Very famous verse. We should all be knowing this verse. Every time we go to Vrindavan, I start the invocation by this verse. After being in the yatra for so many years, these verses should be there in the heart. You don't remember the Ashir.
Partly I remember Prabhuji. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Avala Purāṇam Sri Chaitanya Matamidam.
Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesh Tanaya Tadhanam Vrindavanam Ramya Kachid Upasana Brajavadu Vargena Va Kalpita. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purāṇa Amalam Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam. So this is the Matam. Matam means the conclusion of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That this is the spotless Purāṇa. Why it is spotless? Because it is in connection, in relation to Lord Shri Krishna. There are a class of less intelligent devotees of the Bhagavad Purāṇa who desire to relish at once the activities of the Lord narrated on the 10th canto, without first understanding the primary cantos. They are under the false impression that the other cantos are not concerned with Krishna, and thus mostly than intelligently they take to the reading of the 10th canto. These readers are specifically told herein that the other cantos of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam are as important as the 10th canto. No one should try to go into the matters of the 10th canto without having thoroughly understood the purport of other 9 cantos. Prabhupada is saying that no one should try to go to the matters of the 10th canto without having thoroughly understood the purports of the other 9 cantos. Krishna and his pure devotees like the Pandavas are on the same plane. Krishna is not without his devotees in all the rasas. And the pure devotees like the Pandavas are not without Krishna. The devotees and the Lord are interlinked and they cannot be separated. Therefore, talks about them are all Krishna Katha or topics of the world. Yadamride Kauravas Ranjayana Vireshvatho Vir Gatam Gateshu Prakrodara Vidha Gadam Virsha Hagnoro Dande Dhartarashtra Putre Haratu Priyam Droneriti Samapashyan Krishna Sutanam Swapatam Tiramshi Upaharad Vipriyam Evatasya Yugapshitam Karma Vigrahayanti. When the respective warriors of both camps, namely the Kauravas and Pandavas, were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the dead warriors obtained their deserved destinations, and when the son of Dhritarashtra fell down lamenting, his spine broken, being beaten by the club of Bhimsen, the son of Dronacharya, Ashwathama beheaded the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi and delivered the head as a prize to his mother, foolishly thinking that he would be pleased. Duryodhana, however, disapproved of this heinous act, and he was not pleased in the least. This is going fast forward. The entire episode which happened is presented in this one verse. That what happened, aftermath, the war. Here, who is coming into picture is the son of Drona, Ashwathama. Transcendental topics of the activities of Lord Krishna in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam begin from the end of the battle at Kurukshetra, where the Lord himself spoke about himself in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, both the Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam are transcendental topics of Lord Krishna. The Gita is Krishna Katha or topics of Krishna because it is spoken by the Lord. And the Bhagavatam is also Krishna Katha because it is spoken about the Lord. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to be informed of both Krishna Kathas by his order. Lord Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna himself in the garb of a devotee of Krishna. And therefore the versions of both Lord Krishna and Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are identical. Lord Chaitanya desired that all who are born in India seriously understand such Krishna Kathas. And then after their full realization, see, this is what is Janam Sarthak Kari. Prabhupada is very clearly mentioned. Again I am reading. Lord Chaitanya desired that all who are born in India, Bharat Bhumi se hoile Manush Janam Jar, seriously understand such Krishna Kathas. What is Krishna Katha? Both which is spoken by Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is spoken about Krishna. Seriously understand such Krishna Kathas. And then, after full realization, Prabhupada's standard of a preacher, otherwise he will remain a teacher without having any realization or understanding. And then after full realization, preach the transcendental message to everyone in all parts of the world. That will bring the desired peace and prosperity of this stricken world. Mata Shishunam Nidhanam Sutana Nishamya Ghora Pratipramyana Tadarodad Vashapa Kalakasha Kalakulas Kulakshi Tam Santyavan Aha Kirtamali. Draupadi, the mother of the 5 children of the Pandavas, after hearing of the massacre of Parthan, you know what happened? That after the battle was over and the Kauravas were slain, and in particular, Duryodhana, who was always almost on the verge of losing his breath, his spine broken by the blows of the club of Hima. He was on the verge of death. They had already lost the battle. And Ashwathama tried to reverse the situation. What he did, in the dead of night, he tried to kill all the 5 Pandavas while they were asleep. Such a adharma or he tried to practice. But Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yesham Pakshe Janardana. Krishna knew. So that day Krishna did not allow the Pandavas to sleep in their tent. Rather, he made their 5 sons of the Pandavas to sleep there. And Ashwathama came with his sword, trying to take revenge. And he chopped off the head of all the 5 sons, thinking that he has killed the 5 Pandavas. And he beheaded them and took the head of all the 5. And he wanted to please his master before he died. That was Duryodhana. But to the surprise of Ashwathama, they were not Pandavas. They were the innocent sons. And when Duryodhana saw this, he did not approve it. He disapproved of it. What would have happened to Draupadi Devi? after the battle was won. But in this unprecedented move, she lost all her 5 sons. Such a cruel act. Draupadi, the mother of 5 children of the Pandavas, after hearing of the massacre of her sons, began to cry in distress with eyes full of tears. Trying to pacify her in her great loss, Arjuna spoke to her thus. Tada suchaste pramarjami bhadre yad brahma bandhu shira atataina gandiva mukte vishike rukhare vakarmya yat nyasyasi dagdputra. O gentle lady, when I present you with the head of that degraded Brahmana, here Ashwathama is being mentioned as Brahma-bandhu. Brahma-bandhu means who is only in name claiming to be a Brahmana, but whose actions and whose qualities do not correspond. So he is saying the degraded Brahma-bandhu. So Arjuna was very furious and he wanted to do tit for tat. He said, I will present you with the head of that degraded Brahmana after beheading him with the arrows of my Gandhi bow. I shall then wipe the tears from your eyes and pacify you. Then after burning your sons' bodies, you can take your bath standing on his hand. This is the Kshatriya spirit. The Kshatriyas, they are very, very courageous and very, very furious if something does something wrong. Somebody pays foul. So Arjuna is outraged. And in his rage, he is saying that I will not spare Ashwathama. I will do the same what he has done for my sons, your sons, Draupadi. And you know, there were many such vows and counter vows in the battle of Mahabharata. Bhima had taken a vow that he would kill all the 100 Kauravas single-handedly. He even said that he will break the thighs of the Sashan. And he said, from there I will bring the blood. And that blood you can take back in your hairs. Because this rascal, the Sashan, he dragged you to the assembly of the Kauravas by, your hairs. So then, and the other Pandavas were very, very cautious. They never killed any of the Kauravas, the other Kauravas, because they wanted Bhima to fulfill his vows. So all of them were killed by the might of the club of Bhima. So here Arjuna is being very, very revengeful. He is saying that I will not spare that Brahma-bandhu. He's a rascal. He's a Brahmana in name only. A Brahmana means one who follows the path of religion. And what kind of heinous act he has done is completely irreligious. He has gone against the principle of religion. And all these innocent boys who were sleeping after the war was over, he has beheaded them. So be it, he will receive the same fate. I will strike off his head with the force of the bow, the Gandiva bow that I have. By arrows, I will sever his head and bring it to you, O Draupadi Devi. And then you can stand on it and take bath. See the intensity of the fierce anger in the heart of Arjuna. An enemy who says, so Prabhupada is talking about Atataina. The word Atataina is there. Atataina we have discussed in Bhagavad Gita also. There are 6 kinds of people who are considered to be Atataina or aggressors. And aggressors are considered to be killed at once. Who are these 6? Prabhupada is again mentioning here in this purport. An enemy who sets fire on the house. So that was the Kauravas who tried to burn the Pandavas' life in the black shepherd, who administers poison. Duryodhana gave poison to Bhima. attacks all of a sudden with deadly weapons, plunders wealth, usurps agricultural field, or entices one wife, is called an aggressor. Such an aggressor, though he be a Brahmana or a so-called son of a Brahmana, has to be punished in all circumstances. When Arjuna promised to behead the aggressor named Ashwatthama, he knew well that the Ashwatthama was the son of Brahmana. And because the so-called Brahmana acted like a butcher, he was taken as such that there was no question of sin in killing such a Brahmana. Brahmana's son who proved to be a villain. Iti priye valgu vichitra jalpe sa santya vityachut mitra sulta anvadrava damshita ugrathanva kapidhvajo guru putram rathena. So Arjuna, who is guided by the infallible Lord as friend and driver, Achyut Mitra Sutaha Santavya Hitva Achyut Mitra Suta. So Arjuna's another name is Achyut Mitra. He is the friend. And Arjuna's chariot driver is also Krishna. So the Arjuna, who is guided by the infallible Lord as a friend and driver, thus satisfied the dear lady by such statements. The word is there. Very simple. Iti priyam valgu vichitra jalpah. Priyam means sweet, and jalpe means the talk, or here it is said the statements. And santya yitva means satisfying. So by this statement, he tried to thus satisfied the dear lady by such statement. Then he dressed in armor and armed himself with furious weapons, as if he is going for war. Getting into his chariot, he set out to follow Ashwatthama, the son of his martial teacher. Tam apatantam savilaksha duret kumar hodvigna manorathena paradravad prana paripshud urvyam yavad gamam rudra bhayadyataka. Ashwatthama, the murderer of the princess, seeing from a great distance Arjuna coming at him with great speed, fled in his chariot. All his bravery, all his valor, all his learning, all his knowledge, everything was reduced to dust. And he was so much terrified that he ran. He left the battle, panic stricken just to save his life, as Brahma fled in fear from Shiva. According to the reading matter, either Kaha or Arka, there are two references in the Puranas. Kaha means Brahma, who once became allured by his daughter and began to follow her, which infuriated Shiva, who attacked Brahma with his trident. Brahma fled in fear of his life. And as far as Arka is concerned, there is a reference in the Bhagavān Purāṇa. There was a demon by the name Vidyun Mali, who was gifted with the glowing golden airplane, which traveled to the back of the sun, and night disappeared because of the glowing effulgence of the plane. Thus the sun god became angry, and with his virulent rays, he melted the plane. This enraged Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva then attacked the sun god, who fled away and at last fell down at Kashi, Varanasi, and the place became famous as Lolarka. And I am hearing for the first time the battle between sun god and Lord Shiva. You know, Sanika? I am also not aware. Yada sharanam atmanam ekshita shrantarvajina astram brahmo shiromena atmatrimam dvijatmaja. When the son of the Brahmana Ashwathama saw that his horses were tired, he considered that there was no alternative for protection outside of his using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra, nuclear weapon. How many times did Ashwathama use Brahmastra? Yes, Sarika?
Prabhuji, 2 times.
I think this is the third time. So far he has used 2 times. First he tried to kill Parikshit. There is one more incident. If I get time, I will find out. I think this is the third time. He is so shameless. Both the time his Brahmas failed. But still, he is still thinking that Brahmas can save him. It will come here only. It will come here. In this episode, it will come. So this is the first we are seeing here, that when he was trying to protect himself, that he tried to release Brahmastra. In the ultimate issue only, when there is no alternative, the nuclear weapon called the Brahmastra is applied. The word Dvijatmaja is significant here because Ashwathama, although the son of Dronacharya, was not exactly a qualified Brahmana. The most intelligent man is called a Brahmana, and it is not a hereditary title. Prabhupada slammed it many times. It's not a hereditary title. Ashwathama was also formerly called a Brahma Bandhu, Dvij Bandhu or Brahma Bandhu, or here it is called as Dvijatmaja, or a friend of a Brahmana. Being a friend of a Brahmana does not mean that one is a Brahmana by qualification. A friend or son of a Brahmana can be called a Brahmana when fully qualified and not otherwise. Since Ashwathama's decision is immature, he is purposely called here as the son of Brahmana. Atha upsprishya salilam sandade tat samhita ajanan api samharam pranakricha upasthite. Since his life was in danger, pranakricha upasthite, he touched water in sanctity. This is where this chapter begins. Vyāsadeva also touched the water. Remember? First verse, second verse. Upasprishya. He touched the water. He touched the water to meditate, but this fellow touched the water and concentrated upon chanting the hymns for throwing nuclear weapons. Although he did not know how to withdraw such weapons. The subtle form of material activities are finer than grosser methods of material manipulations. Such subtle form of material activities are affected through the purification of sound. The same method is adopted here by chanting hymns to act as nuclear weapons. So this nuclear weapon is invoked. It is not that it is created or made. It is already there. But by the chanting of the proper mantras, it is invoked and it can be applied or utilized. Tata pradushkritam teja prachandam sarvatodisham pranapadam abhiprekshya viṣṇu-jana-priyaḥ uvacha. Thereupon a glaring light spread in all directions. It was so fierce that Arjuna thought his own life in danger. And so he began to address Lord Shri Krishna. Arjuna uvacha Krishna Krishna mahabaho ākhyānaṁ abhayankara Vāmeko dayamanana apavargo asi samashrite. Very beautiful prayers. We should memorize this verse. What Arjuna is saying, Krishna, Krishna, Mahabhaho. Oh, mighty arm, Krishna. What is your might? Bhakta Nam Abhyankara. Abhyankara means Abhay, means who releases the devotee from all the prayers. And you are Dhyayamana now. It is Dhyayamana now. So Dhyayamana now means those who are suffering in this material world. Apavargo hi samashrita. You can release or give protection to those who are Dhyayamana now, those who are inflicted with suffering in this material world. Arjuna said, "O my Lord Sri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only." So you will see similar kind of prayer is there by Uttara Devi. And Krishna, Krishna, Mahabhaho, Deva, 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 Na Anyam. That is when the second time the first time when the Brahmastra is being released, even it instilled fear in the heart of Arjuna. Pahi Pahi Mahayogi Deva Deva Jagat. Find out. It is here only in 1:7, this same chapter. Pahi Pahi Mahayogi Deva Deva Jagatpate Na Anyam Mrityu. One 189. Next chapter. 189. There is Arjuna Uvacha, there it is Uttara Uvacha. Same thing, Abhyam. Na anyat tvam abhyam pasya yatra mrityu parasparam. So Arjuna immediately saw this release of Brahmastra, and so much of effulgence was there. It even covers the light of the sun. It is so effulgent and it is so deadly. It gives radiation. Even in the nuclear bombs are used, there gives so much of radiation is there. For generations, the generations become reflected by the radiation and it paralyzes many of the limbs. Yeah. Same here. Uttara Uvacha Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Na Anyam Tvad Abhyam Pashe. There is no one else who can release me from this or who can instill Abhyam, fearless, in my heart. Yatra Mrityu Paraspara. Show the translation. Uttara said, "O Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of mystics. Please protect me, for there is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality." Okay. You can read further if you want. You can relish. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is to read, relish, and realize. As Prabhupada is saying, everyone must have full realization. Prabhupada is asking the standard of full realization and then preach. So by Prabhupada's mercy, just by being sincere student of his purport, one can achieve all. One will be able to read also, relish also, and realize also. So Arjuna was aware of the transcendent qualities of Lord Krishna as he had already experienced them during the Kurukshetra war, in which both of them were present. Therefore, Arjuna's version of Lord Krishna is authoritative. Krishna is almighty and is especially the cause of fearlessness for the devotees. Abhayam. Devotee is Abhayam. A devotee of the Lord is always fearless because of the protection given by the Lord. Abhayam Sattvam Samshuddhi. This is where the divine qualities begin in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The first and the foremost quality is Abhayam. One who is connected with Krishna, there is no question of bhaya. And one who is not in connection with Krishna, the foremost thing in his heart is bhaya. Material existence is something like a blazing fire in the forest, which can be extinguished by the mercy of the Lord Shri Krishna. This is Sansara Dava. The spiritual master is the mercy representative of the Lord. Prabhupada's purport. The spiritual master is the mercy representative of the Lord. Therefore, a person burning in the flames of material existence may receive the rains of mercy of the Lord through the transparent medium of the self-realized spiritual master. The spiritual master, by his words, can penetrate into the hearts of the suffering person and inject transcendental knowledge. Inject knowledge transcendental, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence. With another, these are the prayers of Arjuna. He continues, Tvamadya Purusa Shakshat Ishvara Prakarte Pare Mayam Yudasya Chikshaktya Kevalya Sthitatmani. They're almost similar to what he is reciting in the 10th canto. There he says, or even Kunti Devi says, he begins, she also says, Namaste Purusham Tvadyam Ishvara Prakate Param. Same words, you see. Tvam Adya Purusha Saksha. That you are the original person, Adya, Purusha, the enjoyer. You are the original enjoyer. Sakshat Prakate Paraha. And you are the mode, the master, and beyond the material nature. So you are the original personality of Godhead who expand yourself all over the creations and are transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of the material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. Maya Vyudhasya. Vyudhasya means when it was thrown aside. What? Chit Shaktaya Kaivalya. How? By his internal potency. The illusionary potency cannot work in his presence. So you have cast away the effects of material energy by dint of your spiritual potency, as it is Shakti. You are always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. The Lord states in the Bhagavad Gita that one who surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord can get released from the clutches of nations. Ma me vaya prapadyante, maya me tam tarantite. Krishna is just like the sun, and Maya or material existence is just like darkness. Wherever there is the light of the sun, darkness or ignorance at once vanishes. The best means to get out of the world of ignorance is suggested here. The Lord is addressed herein as the original personality of Godhead. From him, all other personalities of Godhead expand. The all-pervasive Lord Viṣṇu is Lord Krishna's plenary portion or expansion. We have studied it so many times. The Lord expands himself in innumerable form of the all-pervasive Lord Viṣṇu. Okay. Innumerable form of Godhead and living beings, along with his different energies. But Shri Krishna is the original primeval Lord. Krishnastu bhagavān Swayam, from whom everything emanates. The all-pervasive feature of the Lord experienced within the manifested world is also partial representation of the Lord. Paramatma, therefore, is included within him. He is the absolute personality of Godhead. He has nothing to do with the actions and reactions of material manifestations because he is far above the material creation. Darkness is a perverse representation of the sun. And therefore, the existence of darkness depends on the existence of the sun. Sri Prabhupada's logic, very deep. Darkness is the perverse representation of the sun. And therefore, the existence of darkness depends on the existence of sun. But in the sun proper, there is no trace of darkness. As the sun is full of light, only similarly the absolute personality of Godhead beyond the material existence is full of bliss. He is not only full of bliss, but he is also full of transcendental variegatedness. Transcendence is not at all static, but is full of dynamic variegatedness. He is distinct from the material nature, which is complicated by the three modes of material nature. He is Parama, or the chief. Therefore, he is the absolute. He has manifold energies. Parasha Shakti Vividheva Suyate. And through his diverse energy, he creates, manifests, maintains, and destroys the material world. In his own abode, however, everything is eternal and absolute. The world is conducted not by energies of powerful agents but themselves, but by the potent, all-powerful with all the energy. So this is the realization, the deep, heartfelt realization of Arjuna. That what is the position of the Supreme Lord? How is Prakriti Param? How is Adhyam? How is Ishvara? How is Param? Okay, so I'll stop here. Sabha, with Krishna's mercy. We covered many verses today. How many? 23. Now we covered, I think, one of the maximum verses in any of the Bhagavatam session. Today has been by far a productive day. The reason for that was in the morning I chanted the round which I wanted, at least 32. And this is my experience today I'm sharing with you. Everything else went very smooth throughout the day. Very smooth. There was no resistance from anywhere. And there was not much endeavor or, effort to be pushed. So my request to you is please take your morning chanting very, very seriously. I have told you, your chanting should finish by 8 maximum, minimum 16 rounds. Try to come to that standard. Otherwise, continue struggle and keep failing and falling. Or you come to the standard and enjoy the transcendental bliss. All the verses are saying. It's just full of bliss. So enjoy the bliss of Krishna consciousness. And we have Chaturmasya coming. Chaturmasya means more austerity. This is mainly for sannyasi, but Prabhupada says that everyone in Krishna consciousness should be a sannyasi. Sat Nyas. Sat is the supreme absolute truth, and Nyas means one is renounced from other things. So let us see how much we are able to cover. In this Chaturmasya, of course, Krishna's appearance will come in Janmashtami. Then we may study from the 10th canto. But we try by and large to stick this time to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Someone has to contribute, say something. Bolio. Go ahead. How many you chanted, Priyanka? Round so far.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
36?
32 Prabhuji.
32. And Ravindra Prabhu?
Prabhuji, मैं तो 25 ही है.
25. You went for work? आप ऑफिस गए थे?
Yes, yes.
I remember once I was in Dubai, many years back when I was working. And that day was Gita Jayanti. So one devotee from their local, he came and picked me up from my hotel. And of course I went, that day I did not, absorb myself in work. So he told me that my weekly off, I take on Ekadashis. I mean, he had that choice. One can avail at least 1 or 2 vacations now, leave in his office. So he told me that Prabhuji, here in Dubai, most of the devotees, they take off on Ekadashi. Very difficult to practice bhakti in Dubai. Very, very difficult. I remember my boss was pulling me to be in Dubai. I told him I will not be here. I want to leave. I don't want to stay here. Because if they Dubai, one will definitely sink. So much of opulence and so much of bhog and aishwarya there. Very difficult. And the lifestyle is what I should say, hellish, completely hellish. And I was so scared. I returned. I said, I don't want to come to Dubai again. It is completely a barren land for bhakti. But those devotees, when I met them, they are doing bhakti with very sincerity, very, very sincere. That was the first instance when we recited full 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita together. And every chapter was recited by a different speaker. And very poetically, in a very rhythmic way. Most of them were South Indian Brahmanas, very impeccable in their recitation. And they were all together so that they could practice Krishna consciousness. So let us experience this bliss which is condensed in this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Again and again we hear so much glories, even today. Prabhupada in his purports are saying and the verses are speaking. Sutta Goswami is glorifying Bhagavatam, that even attracts the heart of such self-realized souls as Śukadeva Gosvāmī. This verse is very beautiful verse, the 10th verse. I was thinking of what is the Atma Ramas Chamunio Nigrahanta Api Urukrume. That the pastime, the activities of Lord, who is Urukrama, it attracts the hearts of those who are Atmaram, who have already achieved the highest level of perfection, or whether they are Munio, whether they are philosophers, thinkers, or even if they are Nigranta, who has no good qualities. So let us very sincerely come together and study Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Every day, I am very happy today, everybody was tuned in. That is the spirit. Yeah, don't try to think yourself you are very big VIP. Then nothing will go in the heart. It will not go even in the head, what to speak of heart. And before coming, please find some 5 to 7 minutes to revise what we have studied. You see how much more it will give you satisfaction in the heart. Thank you very much. Those who have not completed, please stand. And cut-off time is 10. No sadhana card should come to me after remaining awake after 10. Then there has to be some penalty. As many more minutes you remain awake, you chant as many more rounds. With this condition, you can remain awake. Yeah. Discipline yourself. Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita, and the third chapter, 30th verse. What kind of discipline is required? Military discipline. You have to be very firm when dealing with your mind. Don't allow your enemy any space or any opportunity. Mai sarvani karmani sannyas adhyatma chet. Nirashi nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva vigajjara. So the yuddha with Maya. How you will defeat Maya is on the basis of the sadhana bhakti which is given by the acharyas. Śrīla Prabhupada. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna.